So I noticed Kubo is once again going down the path of 1v1, one chapter, the 1v1 ends, next chapter 1v1 with this particular chapter of Bleach, because we just got out of that Mayuri versus Pernita, and granted, it wasn't necessarily a complete 1v1, because obviously he did have Nemu help out a little bit, so it's a little bit different than just a typical 1v1. But right after that, we're going straight into the next fight with Shunsui versus the X-Axis, and to be honest with you, I like Shunsui. I think he's pretty fucking cool. The X-Axis, we don't really know much about, so I'm not that hype about him, simply because it's like, he's just some sniper dude, and Shunsui caught him by surprise in this chapter. For this last chapter that's gonna have Mayuri, for starters, I am glad, to be honest with you, that the Pernita fight is done. I think that went on very, very long. That's gonna be probably nearly an entire volume of Mayuri versus a fucking hand, so in that aspect, yeah, kind of glad it's done. But this last chapter left a little bit more interesting tidbits as far as Mayuri goes, his character and things that happen. I mean, the motherfucker lost his legs. I'm not gonna be too like, oh my god, Mayuri doesn't have any legs, because at the end of the day, he's a scientist, and if he could do all these extraordinary things like basically create Nemu out of fucking nothing, he can create some prosthetics for his legs or whatever. So I'm not like, oh my gosh, he's gonna get his, limbs back or whatever. And I mean, I think for this last chapter as well, it shows how much he's grown, for the fact that he cared enough to put the previous captains in those capsules to heal them, whatnot, even saying, hey, put Zaraki in that last capsule, whatever. Definitely showcases that he's grown to actually be a team player and care, for the most part, for his, members, the people part of his crew, whatever. So that showed yet again that he's grown quite a bit from the days of not giving a fuck about anyone. Although I was for a minute there a little bit like, yo, when he was trying to run away and shit like that in the beginning of the Pernita fight, but ultimately it shows, yeah, he kind of cares. He has some sort of feel somewhere under all that insanity. And I love it that at the end of the day, he's like, yeah, Urahara, I surpassed you, motherfucker. Definitely his only scientific rival, and the way that it went out, I mean, to be honest with you, even though he achieved that, I think that's still Urahara, especially with all the mystery of him. He's probably still leaps and bounds ahead of Mayuri. I'm just saying. I mean, the end of the chapter, setting up this whole Shunsui versus the X-Axis fight. I mean, Shunsui is fucking awesome, but the X-Axis really has a lot to prove. I mean, Shunsui took that fake shot, and that's what he's supposed to do. I'm glad that he's stepping up to the mantle of being Captain Commander, straight up like, oh yeah, I'll take the shot, but then he actually even tricked the motherfucker and cut off a piece of his little sniper or whatever. So that was cool, but I'm not expecting too much from this fight, because again, we don't know the X-Axis. Like, some of the previous Stern Ritter that, passed away already, like Asnod. I remember when Asnod came onto the scene, I was like, yo, he's hype as fuck, but we don't know too much about the X-Axis yet, so I'm gonna be reserved regarding how much, hopes I have for this one. So aside from that, I mean, it was a good chapter for the most part. Shunsui for the win. I can't wait to see this fight. 7 out of 10 maybe for this chapter, to be honest with you. Is like Mayuri character development at the very end again, and lost his fucking legs, and the whole conflict of him saying finally I passed Urahara, which I still don't fucking buy. I think Urahara, with everything he's done, I think he still leaps and bounds ahead of him. But it is cool that Hitsugaya is back on the scene, and I think that was Matsumoto on the right side of him. I'm not sure, but I mean, there was a bunch of people there, so I'm sure Matsumoto's coming back as well. Let me know what you guys think though. Are you excited for this X-Axis fight versus Shunsui? Do you think it's gonna be cool? What are you expecting out of it? And overall final thoughts on Mayuri versus Pernita, and Mayuri's growth from all this, the fact that he cared about the captains, and even said put Zaraki in there. Was it because of Nemu? Did Nemu make him grow as a character, having this like daughter figure around? And your real thoughts of the chapter. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be amazing. ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.